So when we think about Mysore, we think about Mysore Dasara, Mysore Palace, the Wadaya dynasty, exhibitions, and Cycle Pure Agarbatti.
No, Mysore Mallige is also quite famous.
Yeah, I'm so curious to know who is the story behind this.
You should understand that this is a 70 years long story, not 1 or 2 days. This kind of a business cannot be built from thin air. Nothing comes easy. They say there is no free lunch. You have to work for it. He had carried agarbathis from shop to shop, sold it. He went to Hassan, he went to Chikmagalur, he went to Chennai. He worked for it like anything.
From an early age, after his father passed away, was he the one who supported the family?
He was very sure. In fact, he had written that now that a son is born to me, I want to start my own business and hand it over to him. His idea was whatever is produced in Coorg, he could get it in Mysore and then sell it. Whatever is produced in Mysore which Coorg needs, he could sell it there. And that was the thought. But then he wound up on this business picked up.
He's ventured into many businesses. Can you explain his different ideas that he gets to shift from one to another and finally leading to Agarbatti?
Oh, he tried that tooth powder, everything. Every product he tried to sell. Ultimately, he pegged on agarbathis. In fact, he got an appointment order from CFTRI. Luckily, he did not join.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Vichar podcast. I'm Swaz Raghavan Iyengar, a student of grade 10 from Purna Chetana, the 21st century Bharatiya school. When I say the word Agarbatti, what's the second word that comes to your mind? It's cycle, isn't it? Today we have a very special guest among us. Let's see if you can guess who he is. He's the eldest son of the founder late Shri N. Ranga Rao sir. He steered the group into being the world's largest producer of incense sticks. He's the chairman of the NR Foundation and also actively supports education and women empowerment. If you haven't guessed who it is yet, it's none other than our Guru sir. Welcome, sir, to the Vichar podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here. Particularly, I always like to address the youngsters who are the future of India, even the world, for that matter.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, sir, so I'm a proud Mysorean. And so when we think about Mysore, we think about Mysore Dasara, Mysore Palace, the Wadaya dynasty, exhibitions, and Cycle Pure Agarbatti.
No, Mysore Mallige is also quite famous.
Yeah. Sir, so I was in UAE a few years ago. Until my 4th grade, I studied there. There we had daily pujas. Our neighborhood used to gather and we used to have these prayers together. And what I always noticed was there was Cycle Pure Agarbatti. And even in Mysore, it's played such an integral part of our lives. It connects us spiritually, it connects us emotionally, to such a level that Agarbatti andre cycle.
No, that is our tagline also.
Yeah, so to such an extent it has connected us. I want to know what is the story behind this. I'm so curious to know who is the story behind this.
You should understand that this is a 70 years long story, not 1 or 2 days.
Yes, sir.
So it's a, what shall I say, started by my father. In fact, I think few instances of his would be quite illuminative. When he was, actually he comes from, we are all Kannadigas,
Right.
but we come from a place called Vatra Iruppu, which is in Tamil Nadu,
Okay.
near then Ramnath district. He was born there, but then he lost his father when he was barely 7. He had a sister, his mother, and her mother-in-law. Only these 4 were the family members. And when he started going school, he did his initial schooling in the place I told you, Vatrap, and then he did his high school in Periykulam. Periykulam is a slightly larger town,
Okay.
close to Theni and other places. Right from beginning, they are from very poor background. Normally, all the forefathers were all achars, are all teachers. It is only he wanted to do something on his own. Even when he was in the high school, he started buying peppermints from the wholesalers, selling it to his friends and make money.
Oh,
I mean, that is the kind of money earning he was doing. And later on, when he joined intermediate in Madurai, because Madurai was the only place closest to largest town in that part, he gave tuition to students, and then he was telling us that he was making more money than a teacher in these tuitions and other work. In fact, for an elderly person, he was helping in crosswords, that kind of a work. He has been extremely uh, steadfast in his thinking. He wanted to do something on his own, so that is how he was. Then in 1937, 38, 37, 37 or so, we moved to Nilgiris. Nilgiris, there is a defense factory which makes bullets and the big shells. So he became a accountant in the cooperative stores of that factory. It is called Cardite Factory Cooperative.
okay.
No, the society is called cooperative. That is called Cardite Factory. It is between Ooty and Kunur. So he was there for some time, and then he he was shifted. He wanted for a better remuneration, and his thought was, if I have to start my business, I have to have some capital, and with that income, it was a poultry in those days, 130, 140 was a big sum. But even then, he will have no money, not enough capital to build up to do anything on his own. So he wanted to change a job, and he came to Hunsur Coffee Curing Works. Then he was transferred to Palibetta. When he came to Palibetta, he worked there for some time, and then he wanted to quit. So he went to a place called Coimbetta, which was very, hardly 6 kilometers from Palibetta. Now, but the reason he quit was very, what shall I say, emotive. His mother, you know how it is in those days, came with a red saree and all that, without bangles, without chappals. She was not wearing any chappals even. So she had to walk about, I don't know how long, maybe about 2 kilometers or so to fetch water. Muddy, you know what muddy is. Muddy is, when a person who is in muddy can't touch another person, nor he can be touched by others. Then he will have to again do snana and take bath, and then only he will become muddy. That kind of a lady she was. He couldn't bear her suffering, going that distance and then bringing water just for this purpose. So he quit the job, decided to come to a place close by. That Mysore was the closest place then. So he moved to Mysore. That is how his moving. We became Mysoreans. Though I was born I came to Mysore when I was 6. So practically I'm a Mysorean. For 76 years I have lived here. That is my story. And then father's story, nothing comes easy. You know, uh, what is the saying in English? They say there is no free lunch. You have to work for it. So he worked for it like anything. He had carried agarbathis from shop to shop, sold it. He went to Hassan, he went to Chikmagalur, he went to Chennai. All those places you go by bus. This kind of a effort he put in. And this kind of a business cannot be built from thin air. One has to work for it, and it is he who did all the work, and he created a base for this business, Agarbathi business. In the beginning, when we came to Mysore, we were staying in a place called Nagamana Vatara, which is in Shirampet, Nalapanatana Circle, quite up, a little above that. It is called Nalamana Vatara, that Nagamana Vatara, Hadina Nagama. She was a court singer in palace those days. And we were there paying 16 rupees rent. Okay, 16 rupees rent. And we were there for about 3-4 years. That is, he started with soap nut powder, Segakai powder, because that was easily available from Tumkur. He used to get the powder. We used to. In fact, my elder sister is there. My elder sister and me, both of us sat and packed this soap nut powder, and it would be sold He would sell it, he would dispatch it and all that.
Sir, how old were you when you were
I told you,
involved?
I was maybe 7,
Oh.
8. So then he was buying and he did lot of things. He did snow, he did powder, he did tooth powder, he did
Oh.
chocolates, which all of it was exhausted when we ate all the chocolate. It is very tough. Marketing is very tough. You have to build a brand and all that. It is expensive. It doesn't come easy. Then he started Agarbatti business, and he decided to stick with Agarbatti business. In fact, before even starting the business, he put up a shop in Vinoba Road, that is the Hunsur Road. There he called it Mysore Products and General Trading Company. His idea was whatever is produced in Coorg, he could get it in Mysore and then sell it. Whatever is produced in Mysore which Coorg needs, he could sell it there. That was the thought. But then he wound up on this business picked up. It's a journey, a very tough journey. And he had lot of health setbacks, plenty of health setbacks. Yeah.
During the 20th century, particularly India faced, so India, they were trying to struggle, independence struggle. We were trying to free ourselves from British rule. So how was the Ranga Rao sir involved in this? And how did it affect his business ideas? And
No, he did not, because he was firm on what he wanted to do. In fact, surprisingly, he undertook a course in improvement, self-improvement, by Pelman. Pelman is a UK-based institute. They were offering distance coaching. So one of the papers, question paper, they said, "What is your future?" That was the question. He had to answer and send it there. Then they would get back with him with their comments. So there he has written, now that a son is born, that is in 1942. 1942 I was born, maybe this is in 1943. He had written that now that a son is born to me, I want to start my own business and hand it over to him. So he was very firm in his plan,
Yeah.
So he worked towards that. He was so keen on doing his own business. So when he quit, he hardly had up to 3,000 rupees or something, provident fund that he got. So that is what he started the business from.
Did the British
And
laws
no, you were
affect?
asking me about the independence. No, when 1947, my brother was born, Murthy, immediately after independence. We were in Coorg at that point of a time. And Palibata is a very small place, except for some gathering and uh, celebration. There was nothing much, but honestly I don't remember about that. But it had no bearing on our business.
So, how about British laws and policies against restricting Indian trade, restricting Indian businesses? Did it have any effect
No,
over it?
our trade was only limited to Mysore city, then Mysore
State.
state, not even state, only part of the state,
Okay.
the southern part of Mysore state. So it did not affect us, and our product, though they don't manufacture these products in London, in UK or anywhere. So there was absolutely not much of um, you know interference or law that could affect us.
Ranga Rao sir, he from a early age after his father passed away, was he the one who supported the family by earning? How was he able to? Can we go a little more deep inside? All his ambitions to make earn for the family.
He was very sure. In fact, I don't know whether you know what is this goju. Goju is a dish made out of water, tamarind, and little bit of other spices.
Good.
In fact, his grandmother would go and collect the ripe tamarind fruit that would have fallen on the ground, bring it, and then create goju because it is inexpensive, and you don't use any dal or cereal for that. And that is what they used to do, buttermilk. So they could afford. I mean, that is the condition then was. When he did not. I won't say that he supported his family, but he wanted to be self. He did not want to be a burden for his school fee, except for the primary and middle school, maybe up to 7th. Once he came to the high school, he tried to generate funds to pay his tuition fee. He was engineer when he came to Madurai. There, his sister got married. So he was able to save some money and buy a bicycle. That bicycle, he found a bicycle repair shop, where the agreement was this: he would leave the bicycle there, which he can hire it out, make money, but all the repair charges he should do free. I mean, that is the kind of
Yeah.
bargaining he did with him. Porter. The other incidents that he has written is he was very keen to learn typewriting and shorthand. Very keen. He would just go there, stand in front of a typewriting institute, and just stand there. The typewriting institute principal, whoever was there, he just watched this boy. Every day he comes here, just stands. So I asked him, why are you standing here? What do you want? Father said, I want to learn typewriting, but I don't have money. I can't pay fee. So he gave a challenge. He said, get me 5 paying students, I will give free training to you.
Right.
He managed to get 5, and he got the typewriting done free of charge. He learned typewriting free of charge. I mean, that is a kind of ingenuity in his thinking, very novel way of thinking. That is what he did. I mean, but supporting the family only after he got employment and all that. Only he was self-sustaining himself without any burden on the family.
So when it comes to him after his education and getting employment, so as I've read, he's done many jobs. He's ventured into many businesses. So can you explain how it went throughout his thing, his different ideas that he gets to shift from one to another, and finally leading to Agarbatti.
As I told you, it was purely money. He was very keen on starting his own business, and he was very clear. In fact, when in Coorg, he bought 3 cows, Jersey cows or whatever the cows, thinking that because the grass is free, feed is free, he could start dairy business. He did. One of the cows died. Then he said, if something happens, then my entire capital will be wiped out. So he sold off the other 2 cows. And he kept on trying this kind of a thing. As I told you, he tried the snow, he tried that tooth powder, everything. There is every product he tried to sell. Ultimately, he pegged on agarbathis. In fact, he got an appointment order from CFTRI
Okay.
in Mysore.
Ah.
Luckily, he did not join. Luckily, he did not join. How did he finally peg on Agarbathi? Is because the one conclusion he got from the business is that unit value is high in Agarbathis. Whereas in soap nut powder, bulk is there, weight, but value is not much. So he said this would be a better business, so he stuck to Agarbathis.
So how did the concept of cycle
No,
impact
that is much later, let me tell you.
Okay.
So how we learned Agarbathis making is a very interesting story. Now, agarbatti is made of basic 3 items.
Okay.
One, a burning media, which was those days it was powder, white chips powder. White chips is the outer bark of the sandal tree, and powder is it is powdered and then it was being used in addition to other materials. The second is the adhesive, something to hold it. Otherwise it can't.
Yeah.
So that is jigget. Jigget is the bark again of a tree. Then you need a core to hold this. That is bamboo. These are the 3. Now these 3 are the basic, but the perfume that you apply is what ultimately gives the aroma. So he didn't know about anything about the perfume. He wanted to learn. Now all these products, raw materials were sold by a Mandi Mohalla merchant called Abdul Rauf.
Okay.
Who, so he would go there and just sit, watch what all the other agarbatti manufacturers buy, then get that, and then he will try experiment with that and learn the aroma, how it works and all that. So that is how he learned bit by bit business agarbatti making and agarbatti perfuming.
How did the concept of cycle come into Agarbatti? What does cycle mean in this way?
See, what happened was we started with Vasu. Vasu is my younger brother's name. So Vasu was our first brand.
Okay.
The second brand was Cycle. What he wanted to do is to give a product to the consumer without much of packaging, saving the packaging cost and passing on the benefit to the consumer. Cycle he chose because cycle is a universal name.
Hmm.
Whether you go to Tamil Nadu, whether you go to Andhra, whether you go to North India, anywhere, cycle is cycle. They don't have any other, easily identifiable name. That is the only reason he
So the cycle.
adopted cycle as a brand. But the original brand also is Vasu. Now Vasu and cycle both are our brands.
So if we see the packaging of the cycle pure agarbatti, it says since 1948.
Correct. That's what I told you. 75 years those days. Now it is
Yeah,
maybe 76,
78.
78.
Yeah.
So
Sir,
the point that you should know, you should appreciate is that to build a business of this magnitude, this size, to grow, make it grow, it's about 78 years, 70 years, 60 years. It doesn't happen in a day. So you need enormous patience and hard work.
right, sir. Sir, when it happened in 1948, so we had gotten our independence, but still the markets were not performing great, and there was a lot of conflict inside India. It was not yet stable. In this point, many people were not thinking of venturing into new businesses. But how did Ranga Rao sir, he decided, yes, this I'll take this opportunity and go forward in this
If you look
business.
at the product that he thought of, soap and powder, I said, that is used by everybody, common. Even a commoner uses it. When they take an oil bath, they have to use it. And agarbathis, Indians pray like anything. So many gods are there, and and so many faiths. So they use agarbatti. So this is also a common item. So this independent or pre-independent, post-independent did not make any difference, because for them, for the consumer, it is an essential thing. They can't do without. He did not come across any problems because of the independence and because of the British, products.
There was a lot of competition. Agarbatti was a business that many people were inspired by Ranga Rao itself. So, what made Cycle Agarbatti unique? What made it special? How did he make his brand the name of the market, the names around India?
When you go to a shop to buy, when you or your father or parents or whoever, when they go to a shop, they want a soap. What do they look for? They don't look for 100 soaps. They know what they use. They go and pick it up only, right?
Right.
So that means you have built confidence on that brand. So it is not like rice where you go and buy rice anywhere. It is not so. Any branded product builds, let us say, confidence in the minds of consumers. That is difficult. How could it be built? By giving good quality at affordable prices and ensuring that you don't cut down the quality. So this is the basic requirement, and he understood that very well. That is how it became well known. In fact, he did one a product called Sugandha Mallika. Now, Sugandha Mallika was the costliest product then, at 1959, 59. There, 12 sticks was 1 rupee, which was the most expensive thing then. That is yeah, then it was so good. At Madras, we had a tremendous market. So if you give quality and the price is reasonable, consumer would like to have it.
Quality over quantity. Right, sir.
Yeah, but here quality and quantity both.
Right. In Ranga Rao sir's life, was there any magical spiritual moment that he experienced?
No, he was a devout person, but not ritualistic.
Okay.
Maybe when he was very young, he was doing Sandhya Vandana and all. But later on, because of the pressure of business, he stopped all that. But on Thursdays and Saturdays, he would spend about an hour or so meditating. So that is his thing. But all the regular other, like ceremonies, annual ceremonies, Pitr Paksha, that Paksha and all that. So all that, he was doing.
So they say professional life is different from family life, but in this case, even the family is involved in the business. So can you, in
No,
detail?
in fact, I would like to go back to the Shirampet house thing. Not Totti Mane. Totti Mane is what you will have, open veranda, open to rain, open to sky, and then that is called a veranda. Totti is that, Kannada totti, you know. So that totti mane was our factory in the first instant, and it would be our bedroom and kitchen, dining room and all that in the night, in the regular. When we shifted to Narayan Sastri Road in 1955, yeah, 54, there same thing. We used to sleep in the first floor, and after the usual work hours, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, that would be our packing area. You know, that is the kind of work we had to share between the working place and the residential place. So this, you know, is a good, it's a good background for a person. It makes one humble because we know how hard it was to survive and come up. So that makes one humble.
Sir, what was your experience when Ranga Rao sir asked you to join into the family business?
There are two things, two incidences in his life which I would like to narrate. His mother or somebody, when he was 6 years old, they have the, you know, pradakshina. You know what pradakshina is?
Pradakshina.
So pradakshina, when he was doing for a Vrindavan, he said some old elderly gentleman came and he went into the wall. You understand?
Ah.
So all the others who were there, you are what, how lucky you are, you have seen the Swamiji. I mean, that is what somebody has written in the book. The second is he had a typhoid. He had a typhoid attack. And those days, typhoid, there was only chloromazepine, or some, I think that was the drug, choice drug, that had just been introduced, very expensive. He was in the hospital, and then his condition became worse, and he heard doctors discussing on what to do and all that. That day he thought that he would die. He would not survive that. So what he did was he just closed his eyes and prayed to Lord Venkateshwara. Venkateshwara is our deity, family deity. He Lord Venkateshwara, and then he saw a Mangalarati being done. You know what Mangalarati is? Arati being done, and suddenly he had an explosion in his head. He felt an explosion in his head.
Oh.
And next day he was improving. Why I am telling you is this, sir, this is a belief in God and complete trust in Him has a high impact on your mind, how it behaves and all that, which directly, indirectly, also reflects in the body. So he came out of typhoid, but he had heart attacks, and the heart was not very. Those days, not these facilities were not there those days. So that kept him. He died when he was 68. Not very old. Yeah.
Sir, yeah.
Now you ask me about my personal thing. My primary education was in Sadvidya Anglo-Sanskrit Pathashala. That was what it was called. Then my high school in D. Barmayas. It is opposite, next to in the corporation offices are there now. Mysore corporation office, city corporation. This side of that, to the left of that, D. Barmayas College. High school, sorry. High school. That is where I studied. In fact, for the SSLC public examination, D. Barmayas was the center for all its students. Plus, there was one Dalavai school. It is not there now. Students from that also joined in this as a center. I scored the highest. I was given a certificate also by Rotary. Then I have to join college, continue my studies. I mean, that was when father called me and told me, look, you have two sisters to be married, so many brothers. Then there were four of us, 4 or 5 brothers were there. 5 brothers. So you have to take care of the four of your younger brothers. If something happens to me, the business will go to dogs, and the entire family will be out in the street. So sorry, you can't study further. So I said yes. Okay. Why I am trying to tell you is, particularly to whoever is listening to this podcast, Norman Wilson Peale has said every adversity has a hidden benefit. So my not going to the college or continuing my studies, It is an adversity at that point of time.
Right.
I was the first first for the entire Brahmayas center. In those
Right.
days, scoring high marks. But then father asked me not to, and I said okay. But then the result is that the growth was possible.
Right.
Not only that, through business, I learned much more than what I could have done through education. Life teaches you so many things. And when you are independent, not independent, when you are not a student, all the more so.
Oh.
Got it. So that is how my education was. But later on, I did pass distance education of intermediate in Bhopal, near Sihor place, that is in Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah.
And then my BA degree in economics in Karnataka University, Dharwad.
Right.
They were allowing external students without any attendance.
Sir, so once your father asked you to join the business, now what was your experience initially in the business, and what ideas did you have?
By that time he had already studied about perfumery making, and he was making perfumes, and he was taking agarbathis he would sell. Also, he appointed salesmen who would take the agarbathis and shop to shop and sell it. And then so when I joined, there were quite a number of traveling agents. By then, we had also vans. They would carry the goods to Hubli, those places, and also to Andhra. They would sell it and then bring back the goods, unsold goods. So when I joined, I started taking that. And in between, after my SSLC, just wanted to do something. Typing and shorthand, I was very keen to learn. I joined a typewriting institute called Champion Metropolitan College of Commerce, which was in 100 Feet Road. By then, we had shifted to 100 Feet Road.
Okay.
Our office was there. There I did my junior typewriting, senior typewriting, junior shorthand. So I was good at that. At that point of time, I said, why not we do DCOM, Diploma in Commerce.
Okay.
There is these subjects plus accountancy, commercial law, and a couple of other subjects. So I did start attending the classes, but did not take up the exam at all.
Oh, okay.
But that gave me enormous confidence in accountancy, and other aspects of business. After my BCom, BA economics I did. Subsequently, I wanted to do MA, but then by that time pressures for their business, and also, after you grow, after you become, I won't say age, at certain age you don't feel like taking up anything.
Okay.
So that education got stopped. But in business, I was looking after accounting part and the account settling of the agents, and father would prepare the formulae by experimenting. That formula, prepared formula, I was making the compounds according to that formula for each type of agarbatti, each brand of agarbatti. So that is what I was doing.
Specific formula to that
Yes,
business.
yes.
Wow.
No, for that brand.
Oh, for that, yeah.
Talked about cycle. Cycle, we have so many sub varieties.
Right.
So each is different aroma. So that is the formula I'm talking about. That formula is a very family secret. In fact, it is generation by generation it is passed on.
Wow. Right, sir. What are your brothers and sisters' story into this business?
My immediate next brother is Murthy. Murthy did his engineering, but he was the first batch of Jayachamrata College of Engineering.
Oh.
And the college was running in opposite the palace. There is an Aneka Roti. The college was running there, and then they shifted to the new campus, JCA campus. And then he did his MBA. Then he joined the business. So he looked after the entire marketing setup, creation of perfumes, and that kind of a thing. Next is Vasu. He also joined the business after BSc, and he did creativity and then compound mixing. By that time, business had grown, so quantities were large. So he looked after the compound masala mixing stage. And then Krishna looked after the exports. One by one, they all joined. Venkatesh looked after something. Sridhar became a doctor. The Sitaranga, and then Secure Hospital. That is owned by him. He is a physician. And Mohan is the youngest. He started an pharmaceutical business, bulk pharma. milk farmer. So all the brothers have contributed to the business. It is not one man show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I became the public face because I got uh, actively involved in Chamber of Commerce. I have 20 organization I was involved as a president or president, in fact, mostly as president
Yeah.
over a time. That became society knew me. But I was also in Bangalore. FKCCI is the Federation of Karnataka Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I was a committee member there for 2 years. So this is it. This is about my. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, yes, sir. You have. Yeah. What role did women have, especially
Yes,
in this?
yes.
Yes.
So women, you should understand that in olden days, when I talk
Yeah.
about olden days,
Yeah, yeah.
about maybe 50 years ago, 60 years ago, women absolutely had no right in the family business. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Once they get married, it is their, that is how it was. Even now, most of the families it is. Second generation, that is me and my brothers. Our wives did not get involved in family business as a managerial position, but they are involved in several. As I told you, family secret is there.
Right.
So Murthy's wife is the one who mixes the perfumes. Dr. Sridhar's wife is also helps her in mixing the perfume, that formulas and all that. Both of them are there for even now. They are working for that. And then the others have contributed to building a good family, decent, strong knit, well knit family. In fact, all of us were staying together in one place. I told you about the nursing home in Siddhappa Square, near Siddhappa Square.
Yeah.
That nursing home was our house. We had 13 bedrooms. Number of us were there, all children, all the brothers and their children.
Oh.
That was there. So they are very close because of that giant family. Now, of course, because of the growing families, we had to separate ourselves, but that is where we are.
Yeah.
Very
So,
interesting.
as we're moving forward, now we can go to, as from here, if we go to the future of Agarbatti, so many things have happened. So many social services and schools and for the visually
You are
impaired.
talking about our experience.
Yeah.
We do help in various cultural and other activities, sports activities particularly, through our business, through our trust. The first such initiative was in school for blind, residential school for visually impaired girls. We can't call them blind anymore. Visually impaired girls. And why it started is a very interesting story. I told you that I was socially very active. People used to ask me to, or invited me for several functions as to preside over the function or guest of honor, this kind of a thing. In one of those functions, that is Matrimandali. Matrimandali is a very old institution in that circle in Montikoppa.
Oh.
They were running a tailoring course, free tailoring course for women, and they had to distribute the certificates. So they invited me as a guest for that function, and the other guest was Srikanta Swami. Srikanta Swami was heading the DRO. DRO is District Rehabilitation Officer. That was there. That was a post there by central government, where they had to rehabilitate the differently abled. It could be visually impaired, it could be orthopedically handicapped, mentally, intellectually handicapped, whatever the handicap they had. So that they had to rehabilitation. There was a speech therapist, orthotic engineer, these kind of specialists were there. He was also the other guest in that function. And in his speech he said, there is a deaf and dumb school in Bombay Bazaar. And that is for both boys and girls. They were. But the visually challenged girls section was closed. The girls had to go to Bellary to get admitted. That was the only government college there. So he said in his speech, look, all the people of Mysore district, Kollegal, Chamarajanagar and this belt have to go that far. If somebody can open a school, it will be nice. So that kept on, I started me thinking about that, and then I talked to my brothers and we decided to open the school. We opened the school in rented premises first and then shifted to our own building. Now we have 84 students. In fact, what is very satisfying is that number of them have done their masters and are employed in government and other services. Number of are also have one or two have started their own business. One had started, correct, and then one has finished their doctoral degrees and is working in university, college, and five of them have registered for doctoral degrees. They may be visually challenged, but mentally alert. This is the kind of, in fact, two of them are, one has completed her KS exams. Just waiting for an interview if she is called. The other is trying, she did not get through, but this year again she is trying. So this is the kind of challenge they take upon themselves and do it. So when I see these girls, that gives me so much of happiness. So that was the first. Second, we wanted to do something in addition to this. Now, when I checked up with my friends, experts in this field, they said village is neither cared for by the corporation nor by the village panchayat. I mean, slums in Mysore, city slums. I said, why don't you take up something? We did a survey and then we took up a project called Prerapana, Project Prerapana, Prerapane, that is, motivate. That was a 5-year project. We took that project in 7 slums of Mysore. And then gave a gap of about 5 years, again did 5 more years, same areas. Dropout children were brought back to school. We put up learning centers in that place itself, in that slum, and then they would, the children were asked to come there at their time. It was not a fixed time. A lady who had done her SLC of education, who could teach, was paid and then was asked to teach. So this was very satisfying. De-addiction camps, this kind of initiative they took. That is the second major project. The third project is, we started a center for NR Center for Community Development. This is a skill development center where we teach. In fact, the need of the day is employment. So employability skills, particularly spoken English, computers, basics, MS Office, and those kind of things, and then soft skills, how to face an interview. This we are giving there, all the free, of course, and it is 99.9% are ladies. These are the major projects. In fact, we also do tailoring course in villages, village clusters, village panchayat. They wanted us to train the ladies of the village. So we set up, they will give the place, they will provide the space to run this training. We provide the machine, we provide the consumables, we provide the faculty. 3 months course. That is also very satisfying. A number of them have joined garment factories once they are trained. A number of them had their own machines, earning some supplemental income. And 2 of them have put their own shops. I mean, these are the kind of things that gives us happiness. I can go on telling hundreds of stories about this kind of how emotively it is satisfying. But in essence, this is what we do. That part, that part. But that we have been doing even earlier to CSR. Now, of course, 2% of the profit had to be spent on CSR. But we have been doing it for over 30 years, 40 years.
Sir, how was the Ranga Rao school formed?
We started the school, and we started in a rented premises with small numbers, and then it went on gradually increasing. In fact, the building which is there in Metagalli, next to the Metagalli police station, that passport office is there in Metagalli area. Next to that is the police station, next to that is our school. That building we were running a standalone PUC college, vocational training and PUC college. That we handed over to Mahajanas. We wanted this building for use to house that school. We built up a dormitory and dining hall and all that school. You would be amazed at how intelligent these girls are. We give them, when they enter the 10th standard, we give them smartphones. They become experts in using these smartphones. In fact, one Shanti is there who is a teacher there, senior teacher. She uses Google Pay, Phone Pay and all that. Only she is blind, born blind. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is the kind of expertise they develop if given the opportunity. So that we are very happy about this project.
What future project plans are?
No, that depends
Uh,
on what the societal needs are. As of now, we don't have any plans, but who knows?
yeah.
Tomorrow, anything. Eh, If we see a genuine need and if we are capable of handling it, we will.
So throughout this entire podcast, you've given us the journey of the cycle pure Agarbatti. But it happened over 78 years,
Yes,
and it started in a small town. It went to in Mysore, and now it's present over 75 countries all over the world.
true.
How did this go globally? How are you able to expand globally?
Globally, as I told you, no, my brother Krishna started
Ah,
going out and then for business, and then we appointed agents.
okay,
Arjun is handling exports completely.
okay.
We have to give the product affordable products now. Even those people want products affordable price. Yeah, there the rates are there, the expenses are high.
Mm.
We have good market in Dubai. We have, as you said, I think 65 countries or 75, 65 countries. I think we have
Ah,
markets, export market where that is how it develops slowly one by one. But actually, agents go there, visit, and talk to them, and we have distributors there to whom we export, and they in turn sell to retailers.
Sir, you've seen the first generation, the second, the third, and perhaps even the fourth generation now that is coming. What change in dynamics have you seen? The strategies or the different approaches have you seen in each of these generations?
See, my father was uh, born a businessman, I could say,
Huh.
because his strategy was very well defined in his mind. He knew clearly what he has to do, where he should reach, very definite. That was the first generation. Now, second generation had taught it because there was a background. It was not as challenging as it was for my father. But nevertheless, it was challenging because we had to build up the business, we had to take care of running businesses. So these challenges will easily be, met if you have the required interest commitment. Commitment is what counts ultimately. And added to that, second generation, as I told you, my brother, it is be all this helps. All this educational background does help. Third generation tops it all because they have all of them have gone abroad, they have studied, they have learned, they have looked at the business, and they have, so that the strategy they have adopted is there is no strategy as such. They will have to think of new business ideas, what new opportunities are there. All our duty now is to just encourage them.
Mm.
We all retired. I retired about 15 years ago, the second generation. By now, see, 15 years they have already gained so much of experience. So that's great. And for example, Arjun and brothers, these five cousins,
Yeah.
they started uh, sports, KPL
Ah,
Warriors, Mysore Warriors.
yes. Yeah.
And then Mysore Golf also they have now started,
Wow. Oh. Okay.
encouraging golfers. So this is their personal, what shall I say, what personally they like.
Ah,
In addition to business, business is the first must, and then only all this comes into play. But there is a lot of difference between first and second generation. First generation, he had to learn by heart, not by himself. It was a tough challenge. It's very tough for him. You can imagine he
yes.
had a heart attack when he was traveling from Chennai, carrying bags. He didn't know that he had a heart attack. So this kind of challenges he had to meet now, both in health and otherwise. In fact, I should appreciate my mother. I forgot to add about that first generation. When first started this business, you need money. She had enough savings, but not to carry on the business, to increase the business. So she offered her jewels, which her parents had given her, and said either sell it or pledge it and take money.
Ah,
And that is the kind of you know
sacrifice.
sacrifice. But he did not. He managed somehow, and then so these even the ladies have contributed a lot to the business. Some directly, others indirectly. In fact, I have underplayed their role. Now, of course, the third generation, now they give uh, equal value for their services. In fact, probably in ownership too. for the girls.
Mm. Yeah.
That is the change. That is a very important change. In fact, they are more social. See, when father was there, he had limited resources. He couldn't be very generous. But he told me then itself, if anybody asking you for help in education, give whatever you can. He knew the importance of education then. So, but he had limited resources. The second generation, we we did help. I'm talking about the society's requirement now. We did, but the third generation knows what is required, and that kind of a thing. So, the strategy of business strategy is one thing. Social giving is another thing. Family life is different thing. They give more importance to family than what my father did, what we did. Practically, our wives did not know anything about our business. Now it is not so. In fact, the third generation ladies have become entrepreneurs themselves.
Yeah.
The senior most, of course, is a doctor. The second one is the daughter-in-law who runs Sayoga, a golf, yoga boutique. She is a yoga expert teacher, yoga teacher. The third one, that is Anirudh's Kiran's wife, is Pooja, who is helping her husband in perfumery making. And the next one is uh, Aparna. Aparna is running Frosty, very successful restaurant in Mysore.
Oh.
And Savita is the youngest. Savita is doing running a hobby place, if you have heard of it.
Oh.
You just go to the social media and just look at hobby place.
Yeah.
He is doing very well. I mean, so this family encourages these ladies to take up their own initiatives, their own activities, their own initiatives. But in our case, second generation, neither we did the initiative nor they did.
Mm.
And that is the change, except for Murthy's wife, Jannavi, who was the principal of our junior college when it was there.
Oh.
Otherwise, others are only housewives. But they did contribute a lot because they left at peace. They ensured that families are at peace. That's it. So that was that is what I would say the difference, not only in strategy, in other styles of between generation and generation.
So the first generation, second generation, third generation, and also the fourth generation that's coming, they're all involved in the business. How did you, keep it tight? How did you sustain it so well?
Sustain it as a family.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Not about business, about families. I'm not talking about.
Okay. Okay.
I told you that all of us lived in one house, all the 7 brothers and their children, all married. That builds a cohesion because there is no fighting because it was a joint family. And the elders were there, parents were there, and my grandmother was there. So it was a very cohesive group. I told you about the third generation. They are just as cohesive. We separated from the joint family, not joint family, joint house, I would call it, because of the growing family.
Yeah.
All of us live in separate houses now. But the cohesion is there. When we meet, in a family function, any that kind of a activity, we do come together. We enjoy ourselves. And the third generation often get together. That is how we can keep things together, the family together. Though families are different, when it comes to other activities, other in the sense, particularly festivals and all, we are one. That is how we are able to keep the family together.
Do you have any a few advices or messages to all students who want to pursue their dreams and careers and make India bigger?
Well, when you are a student, your dream is to first finish your graduation.
Huh.
Otherwise, it will be not there. In fact, when I was studying SLC, my teachers expected a rank out of me, but I was not very studious.
Mm.
I just read the textbook 2 days or a week prior to exams, 10 days or a month prior to exams. That kind of a student I was, but I did score well. I feel there is a guilt feeling in me. Probably if I had worked harder, maybe who knows, I might have got a rank for the school. But that is the thought I have. Let that not be to the youngsters. Let them try their best.
Okay.
And if they're honest to their work and honest in their studies, spend enough time. In fact, You might have seen in the paper that the first rank holder for IAS closed down his social media thing for whatever he had to study period of his IAS. He just closed it up. He did not even open it. Well, that is the kind of determination one should have when you are a student, to make the best and give the best, learn the best you can, even when you are doing your graduation. When you finish your graduation, then you will be thinking about what to do. Whether I should go for business, I should go for employment, which kind of employment, or post graduation, continue my education. All these thoughts come. That will be depends on the family background, all that family situation. The student now has umpteen opportunities to learn through the social media, through other, but it should not be for entertainment. It should be for learning things. If it is done, then you will be able to also look at what might be best for you, what your interests, where your interests lay. If you take up a employment, if you are interested in, let us say, technical job, and you take up a clerk's work, there will be no satisfaction in life. Try to find out what you like and try to see whether you can get employed in that, or start your own business in that, or start your own activity in that. So many of them have now number of Mysore, I think, has about 80 or 100 NGOs. In fact, one did her MSW, Master in Social Welfare, but did not go for employment. She wanted to do something for the society, and she now, Chiguru Ashrama is her name, Sushma is her name. She is running a home for mentally destitute women who are on the streets, mentally disturbed, not severely disturbed, some manageable. So that is how one finds his passion, and that will develop only after the graduation, not earlier to that. I mean, that is the advice I could give. Ultimately, hard work is the essence of anything.
Thank you so much, sir. Throughout this podcast, you've opened my eyes, you've opened our eyes, and you've given so much inspiration. You've taught us many lessons. You've taught me many lessons.
Thank you so much. Now, this is an opportunity that is provided to me. I'm sure I have participated in podcasts, but this type of podcast, for particularly addressing students and uh, other communities, is very dear to me, and I'm very happy to share whatever thoughts I had, whatever experience I have had. It was a great thing for you to may ask me to do this. I'm very happy about it.
Sir, we've learnt a lot. I've learnt a lot, and it's opened my
Now the
mind.
challenge for you is to convey it to the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
God bless
Thank
you.
you so much.
God bless you all.